jobs. I think it's really easy. You make music you like. You kind of follow your heart. Sometimes people hate it. You can't control that. Most reviews are good. You know, you look in any magazine, 80%, 90% are good, so 80% or 90% of ours are good. Bad press is really bad press. 2 words. Electric stink. Promise ring. Dude sounds like an old man on the shitter with rusty pipes. Stuff like that. But that's funny. I mean, I get a kick out of it. When we started the band, it was like Midwest emo resurrection or something, because we still had Boys Life and Christie Fun Drive, and you know, these are all like, you know, and Braid was together, and like, you know, it was right after Captain Jazz and Joan of Arc was starting, and it was like this Midwest, you know, thing where everyone was, and Mineral was, you know, they're in the middle of the country, and then Get Up Kids started, and that was Kansas City, and so it's like people were like, oh, what's this, where's this all coming from, you know? I've heard people call us, you know, certain sects of, you know, emo, and I'm just like, I don't even know what that is, so whatever. But I mean, I don't think it's that unfair. It's certainly helped. I mean, you know, there's people, you know, kids will come to me like, you know, I really love emo bands, but you guys are my favorite or something. I'm like, I don't know how anybody would just like this is my genre, you know, like this is the kind of music I like. But so I mean, obviously there's people out there who are just like totally genre specific like that, and we've benefited from that as much as it's kind of probably turned a few people off too. So hate it or love it, it does its job.
I live on a small street with very.
I mean, our contact's been out with Jade Tree over a year now, and so we actually just signed with Anti, which is a sect of Epitaph, which I guess, I don't know, so we're in between, I guess, now. We were working, trying to find a label, and I'll just say that it was not that difficult to weed through the many inquiries as to our status. I don't know. I mean, I think people, maybe people think of us and Jade Tree too much hand in hand that it would ever end. But I think that's probably the best reason to leave, you know. It's like, I think it's time they became something. And they have. I mean, they've moved on to Jets to Brazil, and they have tons of new stuff coming out. And I mean, maybe, you know, it's definitely time. They've changed their focus, and that's great. They should, you know. It's like, you don't want to get stuck in a rut. They were like, you know, if you guys want to go elsewhere, obviously, you know. And we've been on the label for 5 years. It's like, it's a long time, you know. I mean, you know, it's like, okay, you know, we've done like 14 identical tours, you know, in the last like 3 or 4 years. And, you know, at some point it's like, we're going to burn out. Our crowd's going to burn out on us. Our music's just going to be like so similar because we've recorded our records so similar that it's like, do we bother, kind of thing? You know what I mean? We wouldn't succeed on a major label. It was like, my voice is not the voice that is going to drag 500,000 people to our record. You know, it's like, some people really love it. I'm not so much in love with it, you know, but I mean, some people hate it. Most people probably think it's a liability, you know what I mean? Like, that's the one right away. It's like, that's not going to help us. You know, like, we're just not slick. We're not cheese balls. Well, actually we are, but we're kind of faking it, and it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. We've added a few sampled beats and stuff. We've recorded a lot lately, and we've been using a lot more fake instruments and that just to like help us through the recording process too. And some of it's been really cool. Some of it's like miserable failure. You know, I think we're just trying to, you know, it's going to be like 2.5 years before our next record comes out, between the last one and this one, you know. And I just don't want to put out another Very Emergency. It's like, at that point, you know, Very Emergency 3 years old is not going to be as cool as, well, if it ever was cool, it certainly won't be in 3 years, you know. And so I think we're really, you know, it's definitely this whole layoff and having this last year just to write and not tour and stuff, I think has really shown us that we will be much happier as a different Promise Ring than we are. And it's been a good kick in the tail to say, it's time to do it now, instead of like, this is how we write songs, this is how we write songs from now until eternity, you know? And I think it's a good time. We have plenty of time to make it something we're good at.